Welcome to Nacho Fitness Coach,
the podcast for people who kind of want to get healthy, but also really want to go lay down.
I'm Sara, personal trainer and recovering perfectionist.
And I'm Caleigh, fitness newbie, realist, and professional nap enthusiast.
We don't have six-pack abs or a 10-step morning routine.
But we do have opinions and microphones.
We're not delusional.
We're just determined.
Let's get into it. Okay, so we did a thing, and no, it's not another bad idea from Caleigh.
Debatable, but this time it turned out amazing. We made downloadable guides from Nacho Fitness Coach.
They're the perfect mix of fitness-ish and unfiltered chaos. Here's what's inside. The Crap Fitness Told You, the No BS Myth-Busting Guide, Quit Being a Little Bitch, the 30-Day Challenge to Build Habits,
Workouts that don't suck, fast workouts that don't make you miserable, and Feed Yourself, damn it, a simple meal plan for real people. And because we know you love options, boom, bundles. The half-ass option, the BS-free basics, and our crown jewel, literally everything you need except willpower.
Find them all at nachofitnesscoach.com. Download instantly, print them, tape them to your fridge, whatever works.
Or just let them collect digital dust like everything else you've ever downloaded. We don't judge much.
So this week on Nacho Fitness Coach, it's my turn to do the intro because we are hanging out with Pete Moore, the founder of Integrity Square and the guy who came up with the term HALO for health, active lifestyle, and outdoors. He's behind the scenes of the fitness industry for decades, helping gyms, wellness brands, and outdoor companies grow. He hosts HALO Talks podcast. And so we are so excited to pick his brain on how the business side fitness works and affects what shows up in our feeds, our gyms, our daily lives. And we've got some opinions, I think, on some fitness cults that exist and just kind of all about all those things. So welcome, Pete, to the show.
Well, that was a great introduction. I want to thank Haley for writing that up because it was on point and perfect. So you're hired at Integrity Square as my publicist. Well, Sarah and Haley, look, I found out what you guys were doing, and I think it's all about, people making small changes in their life that turns into bigger changes, that turns people into HALO evangelists. And once that happens, and you change how you look and you change how you act, and people say, hey, what have you been doing? And, it's not, hell, I went to Vegas last weekend, or I went to spring break in Panama City. It's like, hey, I've been doing this fitness class, or hey, I'm on this keto diet. So everything I feel that people talk about life changes is all about living or getting to try to live a HALO lifestyle. And I want to try and eradicate obesity, diabetes, and loneliness. So the three things I'm trying to do, and I'm trying to do it from the business side. So my company, and I've been running this now for 15 years, we're the behind the scenes of getting money for groups like Orange Theory that want to go from 100 studios to 1,000 studios. They come to us and they say, hey, I've got the state of Nebraska. I want to build out my territory. Mm-hmm. I don't have the money to do it all myself. So can you introduce me to investment groups that like the HALO sector and want to become my business partner? So that's basically in a nutshell what I do. I try and connect capital with entrepreneurs, with the right executives so they can now put together and basically grow a business. And a lot of fitness companies exist as quote unquote, mom and pop operators, and then realize, hey, I've got some kind of like special in a bottle here. And I think I can actually turn it into something that is multi-state or national or franchise or related. And I can build out 1,000 of these. And they typically talk to someone like me or my firm, Integrity Square. And I used to have on my business card, but it got a little bit weird. But I used to have on my business card, not just managing partner of Integrity Square, but I call myself a chief dream architect. And someone's like, what does that mean? And I'm like, well, if you build a house, you have a blueprint and you architect that into your dream home. Yep. If you have a business, like there are 100 different steps that you need to take, and you need to take them sequentially to architect that dream of your business into reality. So I'm kind of on the front end of some of these companies, or I'm on the middle, where they need to raise growth capital, or at the end when they're like, hey, 60 years old, I've kind of taken this to the point where I want to retire. Can you help me sell it to another business owner, or LA Fitness, or Bay Clubs, or Lifetime Fitness, or Gold's Gym, or EOS, and those types of companies. So I'm an investment banker by trade, but I'm more of a crazy entrepreneur that has gotten involved in this industry. And I say, once you get into the fitness industry, you never get out.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to broaden it to basically any company that's doing something, whether it's beauty, whether it's workout recovery, whether it's destination fitness, whether it's vitamin supplements. Like I want to be kind of behind the scenes, almost like your goalkeeper in soccer, which I was, and make you win and make sure you don't lose. So that's kind of like my shtick from New York City.
I love it. Well,
awesome.
you know, I think if people have been listening at this point, like I definitely love New York City. So I'm like all about this, but, and actually like when we have the podcast and I've been in the industry for a long time, but my husband and I do own a small mom and pop 24/7 like gym. And, you know, we're a rural town, we're small, but we think we've kind of optimized like the whole business process. And we've had moments where we've been like, you know, rural America needs access to strength training equipment. And it's not always something that's super easy to like just go plop in, or there's not someone locally that can do it. You know, the national average is you have to live within 10 minutes. Is that still, I mean, I don't know if you know that statistic or not, but at one point we read you have to be within 10 minutes is your like target demographic of what people are willing to travel.
I would argue that's typically a 20-minute drive time.
Okay.
Is typically what we use, and then you look at the radius of that and figure out like what the total population is. But you know, if you look at some of the companies like Planet Fitness, as an example, they used to say, "Hey, I'm not going into a city or an area unless it's got 200,000 population within that drive time," and they're getting sometimes up to 10 to. There's one location up in the Bronx that has literally 22,000 members.
Wow. That is wild.
That is crazy.
And then, but as they've kind of gravitated into understanding the business model, and the business model's changing, we can talk about it later. But Planet Fitness, a lot of people don't know this, but it basically was formed out of desperation. Planet Fitness was originally a Gold's Gym operation that was run by two brothers up in New Hampshire, and they were losing money. And the two brothers basically sat down and say, let's figure out everything in this business that frustrates us or that costs us money that we can't control. Let's just rip it out. So they literally ripped out all their group exercise. They kicked out all their personal trainers. They said, you know what, let's lower it to a point where it's like $15 a month, and let's not pay sales commissions to our salespeople. Let's not sell stuff in the pro shop that looks like we make a 100% margin on everything, and half the shit gets stolen, right? And and it goes out the back door. Let's get rid of kids care, because I'm not in the daycare business, because no one wants to pay me what it's worth to like watch your kids for an hour.
That's a whole different thing.
Yes, it is.
So over a weekend, and I might have some of the metrics wrong on this, but this is kind of really what happened. But they sold 500 memberships over a weekend. And the special sauce of the Planet Fitness model is that they charge you another $39 annually, 60 days after your membership, as quote unquote like an annual maintenance fee. So if you think about the math of if I can get 10,000 people to belong to my gym for $15, and then I can hit them with one time for $39, that's $390,000.
Just your operations,
that I add to my business without like the sticker shock of sending out a letter saying like, hey, we're increasing our fees by $3 or $4 per month, which a lot of clubs used to do. So in your business, I would argue that the population density that you need to go into like the next town over, maybe you're competing with like a Snap Fitness or an Anytime Fitness, which is not necessarily priced accordingly. And you can get a good rent rate. The math may work because fitness is getting deeper and deeper into communities, and then it's a question of how many members you need. To make your business model work.
That's one thing. That's one thing we do. Like we purchased it as turnkey business. Like an investor had come in, bought all the equipment, and so we were looking at it. And so for years, it had just been like key card access, and then the bank owned it for a while because they got it. And so then this investor had it. Wasn't ever being run as a business. I was like, we cannot have employees. We cannot pay for the instructors. Like we a lot of the same stuff. It was like, you look at like the fluff or like the really expensive things. Like, and for a while I owned the Jazzercise franchise in town, and the instructor costs are just a lot. I mean, it adds up, right? When you look at having to pay for all your people. And it's like, we kind of tried to go through too and skinny it out as much as we possibly could. for all those reasons, just to try to get it to survive, you know?
Yeah. Well, look, I mean, I think the pricing in this industry has been a little bit ridiculous. You know, in New York City, as an example, you know, today, and I'm not bragging, you know, I bought a $22 tuna wrap, you know.
Right. Yeah.
Right. So the fact that I can get into like a Planet Fitness or a Crunch Fitness for $29 a month is something mispriced about that. And what I tell a lot of business owners of any kind of fitness studio or boutique, when somebody defines who they are as one of the three things that are most important to them, like let's say, like, you know, I asked, you know, Sarah, like, describe yourself in like three things. You know, how would you describe yourself? Just to put you on the spot.
Me? I'm like, actually, this might be more entertaining if we ask Caleigh to describe me in three things. Caleigh, how would you describe me in three things?
I would describe you. I would describe you as aggressive, efficient,
okay, yeah,
and beautiful.
Oh, well, look at
you. I'm glad we got that out. So if you said to me, if someone's like, "What do you do?" or like, you know, who are you, or what are you excited about? I would say, I run a mergers and acquisitions firm. I run a podcast, and I do Soul Cycle.
Yeah.
So my point of saying that is that if I say Soul Cycle as one of the three things that defines me as a person, or if somebody's in CrossFit and they say like, "Hey man, I work on construction. Yeah, I got 2 kids and I do CrossFit." Like once they say that, okay, that means to me that this should be the third or fourth most expensive thing that they have after rent, after their auto, after like their kids' expenses. Like CrossFit should be getting at least like $300 or $400 per month, because that's how important it is to that member.
Yes.
And a lot of fitness companies kind of dilute what they think they're worth when people are paying, you know, for like a steak dinner for $100. It's like that could be $100 to me instead of to that restaurant.
Right.
So I'm glad you gave all those accolades to that was very sweet of you. But Caleigh, if you think about like your fitness journey,
mm-hmm.
like is it one of the most important things that you talk about with other people now, either people you know or people you don't know?
I feel like in the last 2 or 3 years, I think it has somehow, maybe because of the podcast, it has become probably an integral part of my identity. Yes.
People ask you though, I think, because like she has lost a lot of like weight. So she's a physically smaller human being. And so whether you bring it up or not, like I feel like people bring it up to you.
Yeah, they do. But yeah. And I don't know. It's kind of a weird, blurry line, because I do not have the credentials that Sarah has, other than the fact that we have a fitness podcast. But I have crossed that mindset line. You know what I mean? Like I used to be one way and making excuses, and this is why I can't, you know, reach my goals or whatever. So yeah, I don't know. I do think that most people in my orbit look at me as like a fitness person, which is wild.
That's awesome. Yeah. So just a point on the industry side, I think that prices should continue to rise.
Yeah.
I think that, you know, Planet Fitness, as an example, is now slowly but surely going to get into actually providing people with results. I think their business model has been more like a Southwest Airlines, like I'll give you access and I'll take you from point A to point B, but I'm not going to give you a personal trainer.
Right.
We're not going to talk about like how many people lose X amount of weight unless it's like on the Biggest Loser, you know, sponsorship. But I feel like if you have members and in the first 90 days they get results, which pretty much every member will. There was this one company I worked with. It was incredible. When I first met them, I thought they were crazy. There's something called the Camp Transformation Center. Okay. And they said that their marketing was you pay like $600. It's a boot camp. And if you show up for 20 out of the 30 days, first 20 out of 30 days, they leave a check on the desk and they give you your money back if you show up 20 out of 30 days. And I said, how does that work, man? Like, how do you make money? He's like, no one takes the money. And I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, dude, I've already changed their lives in 20 days that they're saying like, hey man, roll it into a membership. You know, can I put it towards my friend?
Yeah.
Can I buy a supplement? Can I buy a vitamin plant? Can I get a personal? So the point is that if you could get someone to engage over 30 days, they will feel like they can breathe again. I don't know how your fitness journey was, but like you breathe better, you sleep better, you actually look in the mirror. You just put one pair of pants on and you have like a couple of inches of room. Like you start to like say like, holy shit, like this isn't actually that hard to do.
Yep.
And then it's all about, I read one book a long time ago. Like, I don't know if you ever see this book, like Eat This, Not That. It's like a very simple, like picture book.
Yep.
I wrote a book. I got to send it to you guys. That's separate. But it's a picture book of like, eat this, instead of that, it's just like, your sugar's like the poison that's killing everybody and like making people fat. It's not really, it's portion control and sugar are the two things. So it's almost like somebody doesn't know, like, okay, if you put this in your mouth, like that's fuel going into your car, right? Like you're going to treat your iPhone like this? No, you wouldn't.
Right.
It's crazy.
I think it's maybe time for a little quick ad break.
If you're enjoying our podcast, please subscribe and leave a 5-star review wherever you're listening. Okay, we're back.
And there's a lot of mislabeling in the nutrition space that I'm going to go after them next when I'm done with this podcast.
Love it. I love it.
So, but what are some of the workouts that you think are the easiest for people to get into where they're not like intimidated or like say like, wow, this is like, I'm concerned about it.
About starting to work out?
Starting to like lose weight. Like,
I think we've talked a lot about like my journey was kind of, I had a lot of anxiety just around starting to go to the gym. And so I had joined Sarah's gym and I just decided I was just going to do the circuit machines for however long it took to feel comfortable.
Right.
And so I did that probably for 2 months, kind of made my way over to free weights, which was great. And I saw a lot of changes to my body in that time. I think especially switching from circuits to free weights. And then for whatever reason, I don't know, maybe because Nebraska winters, I switched to a home gym. But I think that's what we say always is that the best workout is the one you will do consistently. So if that's at home, if that's at a gym, if that's on the circuit machines, if that's wherever, that's the best.
I feel like even, and Sarah, maybe you have something that you guys do, but I'm not sure like gyms don't have like in school you get like member orientation,
like kindergarten.
Right? Yeah, like member orientation in a gym is like, I'm going to put you into like have a talk with this like personal trainer. He's going to do your body fat index, which I obviously don't want him to do. Right? I don't want you pinching me.
That's none of my business. My index is none of my business.
Yeah, and also like, can you introduce me to the 20 other people that are going on this journey with me? And maybe I shouldn't call it a challenge. I interviewed a guy once and I'm like, why don't you go? He's like 50, 60 pounds, maybe 70 pounds overweight. And I'm like, why don't you go to the gym? He's like, because it's not fun.
Yeah.
It's like, it's not fun, dude. They try and get me to do like this 90-day challenge, which I know for a fact that I'm not going to do.
Right.
I'm not going to get complete. So I play pickleball, and that's a great option, right? Just get somebody moving.
Yep.
And once people start moving and like walking and like having some social interaction, so one of the things that I feel like the gym industry is kind of still missing is like, if there's 20 people that sign up this month and all those 20 people want to lose like 30 to 50 pounds, like introduce them to each other and you've got like a self-help group.
Yes.
Instead of like walking around the gym being like, yo, how do I pick up this?
Yep.
I don't want to do like bar. I just think it might hurt me. So.
Well, I think when you start at a gym, you assume that everybody else that's in there has been doing this forever, because that's how our human brains work. Everybody else is better than me. I'm the only one that's new at this. And yeah, I think you're onto something. I think if you...
Yeah, so if you're a member and you're listening to this, or if you are a business owner, I'm shocked. I was talking to a woman at SoulCycle. I'm like, can you just have like Soul 101? It's literally 101. So everybody who wants to come to a SoulCycle class that thinks it's intimidating and hardcore because it's all they think about it.
Yes.
Or even like CrossFit, like make it a 101. Okay, then like you drop the fear of fitting in. And then introduce me to 20 other people that are trying to accomplish the same thing. and then give me an instructor like you, Sarah, who's like also like my therapist. Like I need someone to help me through this. Like I'm changing my entire life. I'm changing everything I put in my body, and I'm like transferring like couch time to like come in here and be intimidated. Like, I just feel like sometimes the psychology of getting a new member. I was just reading this book by this guy Alex Hormozi. I don't know if you know him.
Gym Launch.
Yep.
Yeah,
so you got to check out his new book. I just got it. It's called $100 Million Money Models. It's more about like latching somebody into a membership and getting as much money as you can. But it's also about, I'm all about like, if you get people results, there's really no reason why they should cancel their membership. And the gym industry is like 50% attrition. And I try and tell people like, that's because like someone is breaking up with you, right? Like they're paying you money and they're not getting what they want in exchange or what you promised it. So you failed. And I try and tell people, I had 30 Crunch Fitnesses a couple months ago. They lost 3,000 members that month. And I said, I went around the room like, we lost 3,000 members. Which one of you is responsible for this? Nobody raised their hand. They're all responsible for new sales. What about the people that are already paying you? How about like pay attention?
Yeah.
You know?
Yep.
Like the whoop ring, it says pay attention when you don't sleep. So, but I feel like that's like that can bring in the other 75% of the market. So Sarah, if you do look at a new location, you're like, okay, I need like 20% of the population, that works out, and then I need like 20% of that 20% there. That gets me by 800 to 1,000 members, depending on the size.
Right.
I always use 5 square feet per member, just as a metric, so you guys know from a business side.
Okay.
That's like the number you want to try and hit.
Sure.
And I think having a higher price, you can have like a teaser price, but if you want to get results, like I don't really think you should be able to get results for less than $99 a month in anything.
Right.
That's kind of how I think about it.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, there's been periods of time where, I'm also been in and out of like consistently being there because our family has grown over the years. So, finally as they're getting older, like things change, but there have been different pockets of time where I've hosted like workshops, like one-on-one type workshops, to get everyone in a room and have 20 to 25 people sign up for it. 2 hours on a Saturday morning, like let's walk through stuff, getting you comfortable into the gym, and so some of that stuff needs to definitely be more consistent, bringing back into the mix, because that is a huge fear for people. And
because how often do you see, I don't know if you're actually physically in the gym enough to see, how often do you see people sign up for a 6 month? What's the lowest membership you can sign up for?
A day pass.
Well,
a week, a month.
How often do you see people sign up for a 6 month membership and come in and do the treadmill every day for 6 months?
That's
and then
a lot of what it ends up being.
And then not renew.
Yeah. That's hard when we don't have staff. That's the one thing with our business model is we don't have staff in there to necessarily see.
Because I think for so many beginners, I think diving into the psychology of beginners is really fascinating, because how do you get them to stay? How do you get them off of the treadmill, off of the circuit machines, and get them to stay?
Yeah. Well, you might be serving someone that, I agree with you on Caleigh on that, but you might be serving somebody who just doesn't want to work out at home.
Yeah.
And they want to be around other people. Yep. So like you might not, in your gym, Sarah, like you're not really like off. I'm not saying this negatively. I'm just saying like what you're offering is somebody access and convenience.
Yes.
And basically a home gym, but a better experience. Mm-hmm. Whereas you're not necessarily offering somebody results. If you want to offer somebody results, then you have to, basically, match that up with some kind of resources.
Yep.
And I don't think that's like a digital app or like, hey, come in here and you can do like 10 reps and it'll count your reps for you. I lost a lot of money trying to build like a digital platform. And I think this is all about relationships and motivation and make it fun. Like the reason why I love going to SoulCycle is because I used to go to nightclubs all the time in New York City, and I'm proud of it.
As you should be.
I don't go anymore. Yeah, it was awesome, right? Like we don't ski, get like music to 11
Right.
and like bounce up and down like for like 4 hours.
But have you ever been to a Midwest nightclub, Pete?
I haven't. What is that? What time?
Well,
is that
you just got to come and
They're
experience.
not even the same level.
Come on out. We'll take you out, Pete. We'll take you out.
Okay, I'll take you up on that. But I'm telling you, I'm doing Soul Cycle, not clubbing anymore. But I can dance with the best.
All right, let's do it.
Nebraska. I used to do square dancing too. I remember honor your partner. I like that. No, but I guess the point is, like, I think fitness, I said this to my Soul Cycle instructor this morning. I said, you know what I like about you? This guy's name's Anthony Winters, and he's like as flamboyant as can be. He's like jumps around class like he's like a grasshopper. and what I said to him was like, the reason why I really like you is that you realize that you are in the live entertainment business.
Right.
You're not teaching a fitness class.
Yes.
Like you're doing like a Swifty like revival class, and there's 70 people that are paying you $40.
Yep.
Right.
So you're making $2,800 because you are running basically like a Broadway show.
Yep.
In an hour that I can participate in.
Right.
And I think if a lot of fitness studio operators think about their business more as like, I'm providing you fun, I'm providing you entertainment.
Well, it's like what like Peloton is doing as well with their what's the guy? What's the big famous guy that was on Dancing with the Stars? I can't remember his name.
What
but
do you have a Peloton?
I don't have a Peloton, but kind of same thing. It's more like it's more entertainment, than I think it's something that people could look forward to and have fun.
And I think you guys are there like do you live near where there's a lot of like concert tours that are coming through, like A and B like artists coming through there and doing shows? Mm-hmm. Like the one thing I told the went to cycling studio in I don't want to bash the guy, but it was in Arizona, and I said, you know what? Like he's like, oh, I only had 5 people in the class, and there's 2 classes on the calendar. They have 5 people in each class, and I go in there like a bull in a china shop, and I'm like, hey man, let me tell you how to fix this business. Put some smart sheets together on Google. I like sent them all stuff, and I said to him like, like. There's like an artist that comes and plays in the where the Phoenix Suns basketball team plays. Like Sting was coming to town, Shakira, a couple other big bands. I'm like, people want to like learn that. I don't know if you ever like cram for a concert.
Yeah.
Like a couple of days before, like I want to just like refresh and try to like remember all the words. Like you should do that inside of like a fitness class, and then you could bring in like everybody that loves this kind of music. Now you got their email address. You do a promotion with the radio station or whoever the ticket promoter is.
Sure.
And for a week, you just run like 7 a.m. to 7 to 8 a.m. and 7 p.m. to 8. It's all Sting music. Like if you were going to that show, of course you're going to come to the class because it's like a rehearsal din.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I feel like, and I know your audience is mostly consumers, but if you're listening to this and you're like part of a studio and you want that studio, you love it and you want it to survive, like maybe you want to like pepper them with some ideas of like, how can I get more classes on the calendar that my friends are going to want to come to?
Right.
So that's one of the things to just kind of plug here is like that people need to know that they're in the entertainment business.
Right.
And then Sarah, for gyms like yours, it's 24/7 key card access.
Yep.
Yeah. And maybe other people that have those types of gyms, like maybe there's like group training that people want to show up and do together. I don't know.
Right. Yeah. That was one byproduct of like the workshops that I've done in the past where it's like every Saturday for like 4 weeks, we would get together as a group and do like a small group personal training session. But then you got homework and that you would have to do then the workouts on your own a couple times during the week, like before the next class. And so that was a cool thing that did happen then between the people that would be in that workshop is I would see them in the gym coming together like over their lunch hour. They become each other's accountability partners. And so, you're right. That just, you have to build that kind of environment, that camaraderie. That's what keeps you engaged, and having fun with it definitely makes you want to be able to walk in the front door every single time for sure.
Yeah. And I think to the listeners here that are, beginners, the one thing in a health club that you need to understand is like the people that work in a health club, work there for a reason. It's because they actually want to be in that environment. They actually have like social human interaction, and it's not intimidating to ask them like how to use stuff and like what it does for you. So I know that there's an intimidation by going up to somebody who's in a tank top and you're not, and you think like, hey, like these people are like above me. But every single person that's in that club like has their own journey.
Yep, we say that all the time. Sarah told me you're not the main character in anybody else's story. Nobody cares what you're doing.
Crazy. There's some crazy stories. Like you think you're going up to somebody and like, oh, this guy must have been like working out since he was like 12 years old. Turns out like, he was an alcoholic, got like 4 DUIs, was 80 pounds overweight, got his shit together. Now he's like standing in front of you, and you're like, oh, could you teach me how to use this piece of equipment? Hell yeah, I'll teach you how to use this piece of equipment because I care about you, because I actually cared about myself at some point.
Yeah, there's a lot of value in like finding out somebody else's story, because there's always so much more than meets the eye.
I think it's maybe time for a little quick ad break.
For more content, follow us on TikTok at Nacho Fitness Coach. Okay, we're back.
Yeah. So I think people just need to know that if you take baby steps into this Halo lifestyle, that things change for you pretty quickly. I've been doing this 122 days. I've had some sugar, but hardly any, doing this keto diet. And like I'll walk past places that I used to stop at, such as Giacomo's Pizza Joint, which is awesome. Plug them on 85th Street. I got to pass by that place every day, And, I replaced that with like, a turkey wrap. But I think if you start making like those little change decisions, and they just don't have I know people got families. I don't. Like you got to limit the amount of stuff that you have in your house and your cupboards. Sometimes I'll go into places, I'll be like, I'm glad I'm not sleeping over here. Yeah. Because, like, I can raid that. They got, like, 8 Haagen-Dazs ice cream pints in there. And, like, you guys know Dots? Dots pretzels?
Yep. Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
Those have low sugar, but if you throw down, like, an entire
right. It's a lot.
You're going to get sick.
Yep.
And then if you watch some of these I watch a lot of documentaries, as I guys told you. Like, these food companies, like, they used to be owned by tobacco companies, okay? So don't think for a second that they're not psychologically trying to get you to eat more. I saw this crazy documentary that was talking about the science behind, like, when you open up, like, a bottle or, like, when you open up, like, a can of beer and it's like, and then, like, the types of, textures, like all the testing that's done. Like all the testing is not like better for you testing.
Yeah.
It's like the testing is like,
how do we get them hooked?
Yeah. And then the last thing that I'll rant on for a second on that front is that like there's this collaboration that people are talking about on LinkedIn the other day between Reese's peanut butter cups and Oreo cookies. You see that?
Yes, I did. And I was like, no.
There's all these people being like, this is awesome. This is the greatest combination. And I'm like, this is the greatest combo, ... Not like there's 40 grams of sugar in that sleeve. They say sleeve. That's the sharing pack. No one shares eating snacks. Who shares that?
Nobody's sharing their snacks.
Never.
Share size, it says.
No.
It should say like alone size.
Nope. Yep.
So my point about that is like these companies are trying to poison you with sugar.
Yes.
There's 10 cubes of sugar in each one. So you got to watch out for the sugar intake and the serving size multiplication tables. But I think there's a big future for the fitness industry. I think there's a renaissance period that's about to happen. I think people on GLP-1 are going to basically, try and push this to the point where if I lose a certain amount of weight, I can get to the next level, and I have to work out with strength training in order to not be in assisted living at like 35 years old. It's like your body will wither away.
Yep.
But I'm pretty excited, and also like people just walking and doing sports outside, pickleball, paddle.
Yeah, the outdoor sports movement is fun to kind of watch, like pickleball. It's like I feel like it started in Arizona, or like when the weather was nice. Like I know that's how it got started in our area, where the snowbirds would go down, and it started there. But now it's like it's infiltrated. I mean, it's everywhere because it really is like an all ages kind of activity. And you're right. How many times you do have a chance to get outdoors. There's not a lot of other sports. I mean, tennis is a little bit more technical. Otherwise, you're just walking or hiking. Now you're doing something outdoors, and people underestimate the value of the vitamin D and just the fresh air, I think, sometimes. And now we're all getting outside and we're moving around a little bit and having fun playing, and it's a good time.
And it's social, too. Like, one of the biggest issues, I went to this Clinton, had something called Clinton Health Matters in Palm Springs. And he had this like 10 years ago, and he had the top 3 healthcare executives. They asked the guy from Humana, what's the biggest issue in the healthcare industry? And the guy said, loneliness. Loneliness is the biggest issue. And if you think about, that as like that, once somebody like isolates, like they're done, like they're not really, no peers, they're not answering anyone. So I think if we could solve that and just get people onto a pickleball court and realize that people are nice to them, so they follow the rules.
And I think that's a big,
actually, like, connecting.
That's a big issue, I think, today with males is loneliness, and nobody wants to talk about it. But
no, I think a lot of guys, like, one, it might not be where they want to be in their career. It might be like technology that's like, forcing them to take a lower paying job. I think, a lot of guys, a lot of people I know, I went through a crazy period during COVID because my entire industry was shut down. Like, I moved to California, and so I was like, move to California, it's such a high tax state. I'm like, dude, I wasn't making any money. It doesn't matter where I live. My point is that I think people go and like disappear. And it's easier to disappear now than ever, because you can say you're traveling or you're working remote or what have you. And like, you got to really make sure you get people out of the house, because that's a place where they can kind of do their own thing. I agree with you.
Well, that's one of the I think linking characteristics of that Blue Zones book, right? Is I think social connection is one of their big things for all those centenarians that, the densely populated 100-plus-year-old people, that social connection was a big one that every single one of those regions hit on, like how important that social network is and connecting with people. And it just, technology is taking that part away from us. Like we feel like we're connecting with people because it's through a device, but it is just not the same as that human face-to-face interaction.
Someone was like, oh, there's an extra $2 billion in healthcare costs because of pickleball injuries. I'm like, there's probably a $20 billion benefit to pickleball, right? Like, because you're getting people like that aren't dying and they're not going into like life support and not getting chronic diseases. So like, I'll take a couple of hip replacements instead of, somebody on like an incubator or whatever.
But at least they're moving. They're having fun at it. It's not so bad then to deal with it.
So one of the takeaways here will be like, you get a pickleball racket or go down to your local place. Also, it's free in most places. So.
Yeah, we just opened up. We just had a brand new park get finished in our community that, is there 4 pickleball courts, I think, outdoor? I mean, before they were playing kind of on the tennis courts that we have, and there's an indoor league. But what's great about, they all feed through this app. And so you can go to new places, but they're all connecting. We've got these open gyms, and they've got this whole process. That's awesome. So it's really fun because it's what I like about it, because my dad did get me playing for a little bit, is that the older you get, the harder it is to put together a team to participate in sports, right? And that's what I grew up doing. Like, that was my physical activity, was I played sports, and I still try to when I can, but the older you get, the harder it is to get enough people together to play volleyball or softball or basketball, right? Pickleball, you can just show up a lot of places to like open gyms or whatever, that's just you. And they have a rotation that they figure, and you just play for fun. And it's awesome.
The one thing that health club operators and studios are not doing right with it now, which they should, is this whole pickleball craze. Instead of saying, oh, we don't have pickleball, right? Like, you go to a gym, no, we don't have pickleball. What they should say is, we got a pre-workout program where it's going to help you not get injured, and we got a post-recovery pickleball, like fitness program. Like, instead of, you don't have to have everything. Like, you went to, did you guys go to University of Nebraska, or where'd you guys go?
I went out of state to Northwest Missouri State, and Caleigh I
graduated from high school.
Most people around here are the University of Nebraska. Like, we're only an hour away, so that's kind of the heart of where we're at.
I was doing like a seminar. I was trying to get my point across about this pickleball thing to like all these Gold's Gym operators, and I said, if you went to a state school, they have like 800 student-led organizations. So if you don't have a pickleball court, have like a pickleball club.
Yeah.
And have like the 10 people that play pickleball. Tell them like, you're the ambassador. Here's a jersey.
Yep.
You know, that has your name on the back of my logo on the front. Then you have a pickleball club, inside a club, and then do stuff to help people not get injured or play better. Yep. I think this is what the fitness industry needs to like go follow the member and like help them in what they want to do, and not like create programs that call like fun and gun or funds and guns or you know like I'm not looking for biceps like playing pickleball. Like I'm looking to make sure like I have agility and like strength training, you know, like TRX type of stuff. So what I'm trying to do on the business side is trying to like optimize the profitability. So these people like you, Sarah, can like go build another location that affects another 1,000 people, or 5,000 people. And then like an Orange Theory or Soul Cycle, if somebody comes to me and says, hey, I got 5 cycling studios and I see, you got pretty good business here and like the economics of that business work. Now I can get an investor to like buy into that and your Kool-Aid and your culture. And let's go build another 10. Right. And then like, I'm like long-term doing what I want to do. So I want to stop loneliness, obesity, diabetes. I want to be like a superhero named Captain Halo. You know, I got like cape.
Love it.
Yeah.
That's what I want to do.
Yeah.
That's where I'm headed.
Yeah. I mean, and that's what we need right now. It's, you know, it really is just about helping people become better versions of themselves so that they can just live life the way that they want to. Right. And then you don't have the limitations from physical, you know, things that you're feeling or whatever, and just be able to live life. Run from a bear if you have to.
It's education too. I mean, like a lot of people just don't even. Last thing I'll say is like there's one of these trail mix things that they sell at the airport, and you think it's good for you, right? It's trail mix. It's not like, you know, like Cheetos or something. But if you look on it, its serving size is 10 serving sizes. Right. And it says, oh, it's only like 8 grams of sugar. Well, you do the math on 8 grams of sugar
times 10.
That's 80. That's literally, it's divided by 4. That's a gram. There's 20 cubes of sugar in there. Like somebody just thought they were like making the right, you know, food decision, and they just got sugared. Yep. That's gonna be a new phrase. Yo, you got sugared.
You got sugared.
I didn't even know. That's a good one.
I like it. It's gonna stick around, I think. But that is the crazy part. Like I worked in Kansas City for a long time at a personal training studio that they really focused on like 12 to 16 week kind of transformations. And how many people I sat down and worked with, because we incorporated the nutrition side, had never read a nutrition label.
I know.
To understand the serving size. And like, you know, for me, what sneaks up to get you the serving size is cereal boxes. Because, you know, I would travel a lot for my job when I worked out in the East Coast, and, you know, you get the little boxes in the hotel kitchens or whatever, and you see the cereal and you dump it in your bowl and you're like, what is this? And like 3 boxes later, you're like, oh, this is the bowl that I have at home. And then you realize, like, I've been having that serving size, like it's times 3 this whole time. And it's just, that's what gets frustrating and kind of railroads your results a little bit. Yep.
So as a joke, I was thinking about like, I do these little comedy risks every now and again. And I was thinking like, okay, what is serving size? Like, who is the serving? And I was thinking, like, maybe there's a family of 4 who, like, doesn't have a big appetite, and their last name is, like, the servings. Jane, you know, Pete and Marissa, like, the serving family. Like, how long are you taking to finish this bag? Oh, it took them 10 times. Pretzels. Damn, it's like a serving size, like the serving family.
That's awesome.
10 times. Nobody puts that pint of Haagen-Dazs back.
Right.
No.
That's such a bullshit claim.
Yes, like, it is.
The whole thing. Just come out and just say it already.
Absolutely. I think it's all about marketing, though. Like,
it's
all about marketing. It's like, okay, at what size can we feel people? Can we market to them for them to consider this healthy? Yeah. Because we know once they get it, they start eating it. Like, they're not going to pay attention to, like, what the serving size actually is. But it's like, oh, I get the label. It's only 120 calories. Okay, that's great. You know, and then you're like, oh, but you just ate 4 times that. Yep. So.
Yeah. So we're going to go after the serving family. The other thing, I had an app idea. Like, you guys probably have like an idea every minute too.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Okay. I was thinking, like, if you took your phone, right, and it had like some kind of thing that would show you, like, when you went on the shelves of a convenience store, and it would just go like this, and it would tell you, like, if it's green or red. like the shit that you definitely not put in your body. And
Yep.
like that
That
scan.
Oh, that's a good idea.
I love that idea. And then the red one can say, you got sugared.
You got sugared.
You got sugared.
That's what we'll call the app. You got sugared.
You got sugared. Bam. And then it would have that like sound, like in Star Wars.
Yeah.
Like the lightsabers.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just an idea. If you guys want to run with that,
Or just like a nuclear alert, like a wah,
Yeah.
wah,
Yeah. And your phone vibrating.
Yeah.
So, like, do not eat this thing.
Like
love
walk
it.
away.
Podcast right now. We got to develop.
Yeah, I know.
I think we're onto something.
I do
All
think
right.
that's onto something. And you know what? Technology is there because
It
before
is.
I would have said there's no way a phone can scan that device or like that image and
we're
know what
there.
it is.
We're
Because
there.
before it started with like barcodes and or you had to actually enter in the information first. And then
Yeah.
they're like, oh, you can scan the barcodes. But now we are totally there with
we're
AI that we could totally just do the
Like,
pictures.
Like,
Oh, yeah,
Yep.
for sure.
just real quick. Try this.
Yeah, that would be awesome.
All right.
I would use it.
He's our new
Just
business
that,
partner.
Yeah, there we go. There we go. We're starting it. Let's
Just
do
that,
it.
yeah, we're gonna go clubbing in Nebraska.
We're gonna go-
Are they in Nebraska?
Technology. We're gonna go
New
do that.
Guys, we're building something.
Just wait for the final product.
Yep.
It's coming out.
This is the Nacho Fitness Technology Show. Thank you for joining us. Anyone who wants to use our new apps, you are now our guinea pig.
There we go. Perfect.
Love it.
I think we're on to something. Well, yeah, I mean, this is all super helpful. This is great information. I love your path, your journey, your focus, like really finding kind of that new way through businesses to help people accomplish all these goals and get rid of obesity, diabetes, and I missed the last one already. What was the last one? Obesity,
Loneliness.
diabetes, and
Get rid of
loneliness. Yeah.
Loneliness.
Yeah, that social connection. So it's so true, and it's a great mission. So
Yeah. And if somebody's trying to get into the industry, like just take a couple baby steps in. We'll take it from there.
Yeah.
just
Once
get
you get
started.
in, we don't let you out anyway.
Absolutely.
Yep. Perfect. Yeah,
Pete,
just
where,
reach.
where can our listeners find you on
I
social media?
got something called Halo Talks. Halo Talks is our podcast.
Okay.
Mostly on the business side. So I've done 600 interviews with business entrepreneurs like you, Sarah, that talk about their companies and what they're doing and to make change, and investment groups as well, what they're looking for. And then I wrote a book that's on Amazon. I'll send to you guys, called Time to Win Again. And it's how to run your business like a sports team. And it's in caricature form. So it's kind of like the business book, Good to Great meets Where's Waldo. That's all I
Awesome.
can say. So I'll get out to you guys with Dave after the show. But I appreciate you having me on, and I love what you guys are doing. And I think, starting where any community is where this whole thing proliferates. So it's all we're going to change the world, but it's going to be all like community by community and town by town. It just has to be, because there's no way to do it from the top down. It all has to be ground up. So I appreciate what you guys are doing, and welcome to the Halo sector. And you guys can use that term, and we're going to start getting this whole thing about getting sugar.
Awesome. Perfect.
Awesome.
Yes.
Love it.
That's the new hashtag. I love it.
Get
So,
sugar.
awesome.
Cool.
Well, thank you so much for your time. We appreciate it. We'll make sure we link everyone in our show notes so they can find you and reach out, and love connecting with you. And I feel like I need to buy the book because I probably learn a lot
We'll
from
send
you.
it to
So
you. You get free copies. We'll
Awesome.
post it up if anybody wants them.
love it.
Awesome.
So
Yeah. All right. Keep doing a great thing.
very good. Thank
Talk to
you.
soon.
Yep. Thank
Thanks,
you.
Pete.
All right. Until next
Take
time.
care now.
Bye.
Bye now.
Thanks for listening. Be sure to head over to our Instagram at Nacho Fitness Coach and let us know how you feel about the topic. Do you love it or hate it?
Also, don't forget to hit that subscribe or follow button wherever you're listening. And if you like our podcast, leave us a rating. See you next time.
You've been listening to Euphony Innovatives Sonified.